Chen never wanted to be famous. She just wanted to survive another Tuesday without getting fired for what the Vissian headmaster called her aggressive problem-solving tendencies. Standing in the observation deck of the Luminara Academy station, watching 17 alien children bounce off the transparent aluminum walls like colorful pinballs, she wondered if today would finally be the day her patience snapped completely. Miss Maya, chirped Tix, a small Quentari child whose 3 eyes blinked in sequence when excited. Broca says humans cannot actually see in the dark, but I told him you have special earth magic. Maya crouched down, her knees protesting the movement. 5 months aboard this floating education facility had taught her that alien children were just as exhausting as human ones, only with more limbs and occasionally venomous saliva. No magic, Pix, just better night vision than most species. We evolved as persistence hunters. What is persistence? The child's translator Chip struggled with the concept. It means we are too stubborn to quit, even when everything tells us we should. Maya ruffled the soft membrane between Pixie's antennae, earning a delighted trill. Across the observation deck, Headmaster Jix towered over the chaos, his 6 arms crossed in that particular configuration that meant disapproval. The Vissian administrator had made his feelings about human staff abundantly clear during her interview. Humans were impulsive, emotional, and dangerously unpredictable. He had hired Maya only because the Galactic Education Concordat required species diversity among faculty. She was a checkmark on a diversity form. Nothing more. The station shuddered, not the gentle drift correction Maya had grown accustomed to, but a violent lurch that sent children tumbling. Emergency lights blazed crimson, and the pleasant hum of life support changed pitch into something that sounded distinctly unhealthy. Everyone remain calm, Jix announced, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into flat, emotionless standard Galactic. This is merely a minor technical malfunction. Another shudder. The transparent aluminum viewport cracked, a hairline fracture spreading like lightning across the surface. Maya's heart rate spiked. She had spent 3 years on Luna Station before taking this job. She knew what catastrophic decompression looked like in its opening act. Jix, we need to evacuate this section immediately. She kept her voice level, but her hands were already moving, gathering the nearest children. Panic helps nothing, human. The engineering team will address this shortly. The headmaster's certainty would have been admirable if it were not so profoundly stupid. The lights died. Emergency systems kicked in 2 seconds later, bathing everything in sickly green. Through the viewport, Maya saw something that made her blood freeze. The docking ring was separating from the main station body. Escape pods jutted from the ring like metal mushrooms, but they were moving away, accelerating into the black. Someone had jettisoned the pods. All of them. We have a serious problem. Maya grabbed Jix's lowest right arm, forcing him to face the viewport. The escape route just left without us. For the first time since Maya had met him, the headmaster looked uncertain. His skin shifted from confident purple to something closer to fear white. That is impossible. Safety protocols prohibit pod deployment without command authorization. Well, someone authorized it. Maya was already doing the math. 17 children, 1 headmaster, 1 human teacher. The observation deck had 1 emergency shelter rated for 12 occupants. The corridor outside led to 3 different sections, but without pod access, they were trapped in a dying piece of infrastructure. The station groaned. Metal screamed against metal somewhere deep in the superstructure. Several children began crying, their sounds ranging from whistles to roars depending on species. Pix wrapped her small arms around Maya's leg, trembling. Listen to me. Maya raised her voice, projecting confidence she absolutely did not feel. We are going to play a game. The prize is staying alive. Everyone understands. 17 pairs of eyes, varying wildly in number and configuration, locked onto her. The emergency shelter can fit 12. That means 12 of you go inside right now. Pix, you are in charge. Keep everyone calm and quiet. Understand? The small Quentari nodded, her antennae standing straight with sudden responsibility. Headmaster Jix, you will accompany them. Your authority might be needed to override shelter protocols if systems fail. It was a lie. Maya needed the self-important administrator out of her way. He would panic, make poor decisions, and waste oxygen arguing about procedure. And what of you? What of the remaining children? Jix's skin had gone completely white now. I will take the other 5 through the maintenance tunnels to the cargo bay. There are emergency atmospheric suits stored there. If I can seal the bay and activate local life support, we can wait out whatever this is. Another long. The maintenance tunnels were barely big enough for human-sized individuals. Taking children through them while the station tore itself apart was borderline suicidal, but it was better than everyone dying together. Jix wanted to argue. Maya could see it in the way his mandibles clicked. But another violent shudder made the decision for him. Very well, but if you get those children killed, human, I will personally ensure your species is banned from all conquered bat facilities. Get in the shelter, Jix, and seal it behind you. 12 children filed into the emergency shelter with admirable speed. Pix looked back once, her 3 eyes wide and trusting. Maya forced a smile she did not feel, then activated the shelter door. It hissed shut, magnetic locks engaging with a solid thunk. 5 children remained. Roka, a young Thaxian with scales that shifted color with emotion. Lena and Milo, twin centauri who communicated in harmonics. Juk X, a Chlorathian whose 4 arms could be either incredibly helpful or incredibly destructive. And Vera, a Yithian whose species recently joined the Concordat after centuries of isolation. All right, team? Listen carefully. We are going into the tunnels. It will be tight, dark, and possibly terrifying, but I need you to trust me completely. Can you do that? Roka's scales flickered between brave orange and terrified blue. Will it hurt? I will not lie to you, it might. But pain is temporary. Dying is permanent. I prefer temporary problems. Maya pulled open the maintenance hatch, revealing a narrow corridor lined with pipes and conduits. Single file. Vera, you are tallest, so you go first. I will be right behind you. Everyone else, hold on to the person in front. If anyone falls behind, yell immediately. They climbed into the tunnel. The hatch sealed behind them and Maya activated her wrist light. The beam cut through absolute darkness, revealing a cramped passage that seemed to stretch forever. The station groaned again, and Maya felt the deck plates shift beneath her feet. Move fast but carefully. Think of it like threading a needle. Maya kept her voice calm, almost conversational. On Earth we have these things called caves, natural tunnels in the ground. People let's to explore them for fun. This is basically the same thing, except with more aliens and slightly higher stakes. Humans explore dangerous tunnels for entertainment? Jex sounded simultaneously horrified and impressed. We also jump out of perfectly functional aircraft while attached to fabric parachutes. My species has questionable survival instincts. The humor was deliberate. Keep them talking. Keep them moving. Keep them from thinking too hard about how thin the walls were or how quickly oxygen might be depleting. They moved through the tunnel for what felt like hours but was probably closer to 20 minutes. Maya's shoulders scraped against pipes. Her knees protested every crawling step. Behind her she heard the children breathing hard, trying to keep pace. Ahead, Vera stopped suddenly. Miss Maya, the path splits. 2 directions. Which way? Maya closed her eyes, visualizing the station schematic she had studied during orientation. Left led toward the cargo bay but passed through sections that might already be compromised. Right took a longer route but avoided the worst damage. Right. Always right when you are lost in tunnels. It is a human superstition, but today I will trust my ancestors. She had no idea if that was actually a superstition, but it sounded authoritative. They took the right path. The tunnel narrowed further, forcing them to slide on their stomachs. Maya's claustrophobia, usually manageable, began whispering ugly suggestions about being trapped, about running out of air, about dying in the dark with 5 children depending on her. Miss Maya, are you scared? Lena's harmonic voice cut through the panic, terrified. Honesty seemed appropriate, but being scared does not mean being helpless. Fear is information. It tells us to be careful, to think clearly, to not make stupid mistakes. You are very brave, Milo added, their twin harmony creating an oddly beautiful sound in the cramped space. No, bravery is not about lacking fear. It is about being scared and doing the right thing anyway. The tunnel opened suddenly into a larger maintenance shaft. Maya dropped down first, then helped each child descend. They were close now. She could see the cargo bay access hatch just ahead, its emergency light blinking amber. Behind them something exploded. The shockwave threw everyone forward. Maya twisted midair, taking the impact on her shoulder while shielding Roka. Pain blazed down her arm. possibly dislocated. Definitely bruised. Everyone okay? She gasped. Inventory checking. 5 children, all conscious, all moving. You are bleeding, Vera pointed at Maya's forehead. Superficial. Ignore it. Maya staggered to the cargo bay hatch, entering the override code with shaking fingers. The mechanism clicked. Whirred, then stopped, dead. The explosion must have killed local power. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Maya slumped against the hatch, mind racing. Manual override required 2 people operating synchronized mechanisms. She had 5 children, 1 possibly dislocated shoulder, and approximately 0 good options recting. What do we do now? Jex asked, their forearms hugging themselves. Maya looked at those 5 faces. Different species, different worlds, different biologies, all of them trusting her completely. All of them about to die if she could not think of something brilliant in the next few minutes. Then she remembered the maintenance toolkit mounted on the wall. Every major hatch had one. Inside would be plasma cutters, emergency sealant, possibly even a portable power cell. Jax, you have 4 arms, correct? Yes. How strong are they? The Clarithian flexed, their muscles bunching impressively. I am very strong for my age. My parents say I could be a builder. Perfect. Vera, Lena, Milo, I need you to brace Jex. Hold them steady. Roka, you are going to help me open that toolkit. Maya was already moving, adrenaline overriding pain. We are going to manually cut through this hatch. Then we are going to seal ourselves in the cargo bay, activate every emergency beacon we can find, and wait for rescue. And if rescue does not come, Roka's scales had gone completely blue now. Maya met those frightened eyes and lied with absolute conviction. Then I will personally fly us out of here in one of the cargo shuttles. I did not survive 3 years on Luna Station, 2 relationships that ended badly, and a truly terrible bout of food poisoning on Andromeda Prime just to die on a Tuesday in a maintenance tunnel. Tuesday is the worst day to die, everyone knows that. The children laughed. Thin, scared laughter, but laughter nonetheless. They got the toolkit open. The plasma cutter was old, its power cell probably compromised, but it flickered to life when Maya activated it. Jex held the cutter with 2 arms while bracing themselves with the other 2. Vera, Lena, and Milo formed a living tripod, keeping the young Clarithians steady. Roka directed the cutting angle, their color-changing scales providing surprising illumination. Maya guided Jex's hands, showing them where to cut. The plasma beam sliced through metal with agonizing slowness. Minutes passed. The station shook twice more. Somewhere distant she heard the groan of tearing hull plating. The hatch fell inward with a tremendous crash. Maya pushed the children through, then sealed it behind them using emergency foam from the toolkit. The cargo bay was massive, filled with shipping containers and cargo shuttles in various states of maintenance. And there, mounted on the far wall, was exactly what Maya needed. An emergency communication array with its own power supply and quantum ansible. Everyone into that shuttle. Maya pointed at the nearest vessel. Strap in, do not touch anything. I need 3 minutes. She reached the communication array and began entering commands with her good hand. The shoulder definitely was dislocated now. She could feel the joint grinding sickeningly with every movement. But pain could wait, everything could wait. The array came online. Maya accessed the emergency frequency, the one reserved for catastrophic disasters. She began recording. This is Maya Chen, Cultural Liaison aboard Luminara Academy Station. We are experiencing catastrophic systems failure. Escape pods have been jettisoned without authorization. I have 5 children with me in Cargo Bay 7. We are sealed in, but I do not know how long the atmosphere will hold. To whoever is receiving this transmission, please send help immediately. Coordinates attached. Chen out. She hit send, broadcasting on every channel simultaneously. Then she collapsed against the console, breathing hard. Behind her, the cargo bay door exploded inward. Not from external damage, from a deliberate breach charge. 3 figures stepped through the smoke. Not rescue workers. Not station security. These were mercenaries, wearing combat armor marked with symbols Maya recognized from intelligence briefings back on Earth. The Keltherin Syndicate. Corporate killers for hire. The lead mercenary leveled a plasma rifle at her chest. Their voice, rendered mechanical by the helmet's speaker, was almost polite. Maya Chen, you have been remarkably resourceful. Unfortunately, those children were supposed to die today. Now please step away from the console, and we will make this quick and painless. Maya's mind raced, piecing together implications. The escape pods jettisoned deliberately. The system's failure timed too perfectly. The mercenaries waiting in the cargo bay. This was not an accident. This was an assassination. Someone had tried to murder a classroom full of alien children, and Maya had just ruined their plan. Maya raised her good hand slowly, stepping away from the console. Her eyes tracked the mercenaries, counting weapons, evaluating threat levels. 3 hostiles, full armor, military-grade equipment. She had 1 possibly dislocated shoulder, 5 terrified children, and rapidly depleting patients. Who hired you? She kept her voice steady, buying time. Behind the mercenaries, through the breached door, she saw movement, station security. More enemies? Impossible to tell. Does it matter? The lead mercenary gestured with their rifle. Political complications, corporate interests, the usual motivations. Those children represented inconvenient bloodlines, loose ends that needed elimination. They are 7 years old. Maya felt rage building, cold and focused. What kind of bloodlines threaten anyone at 7? The kind born to families who opposed the Rexian Trade Consortium, the kind whose deaths would be tragic accidents during a random station malfunction. The mercenary's helmet tilted slightly. You were not supposed to be a problem. Cultural liaisons do not usually demonstrate this level of competence. I am just full of surprises. Maya shifted her weight, calculating distances. The nearest cargo container was 3 meters away. Inside would be contents ranging from useless to potentially helpful, but reaching it required getting past plasma rifles, and her hand-to-hand combat training was 15 years old and involved much younger joints. Behind her, she heard the shuttle door opening. No, absolutely not. She had told those children to stay put. Jex emerged first, their forearms spread wide, trying to look intimidating. Vera followed, moving with that peculiar Yithian grace. The twins came next, harmonizing something that sounded almost like a war chant. Roka brought up the rear, scales blazing defiant red. Get back in the shuttle. Maya kept her eyes on the mercenaries. This does not concern you. You said we trust you completely. Jex's voice was small but determined. So we trust you have a plan. Maya did not have a plan. She had desperation and rapidly diminishing options. But looking at those 5 faces, seeing that absolute faith, something shifted inside her. These children had followed her through maintenance tunnels, through fire and fear, because she had asked them to trust her. Now they were standing between her and armed killers because they believed she would protect them. She would not let them down. Final warning, human. The lead mercenary's rifle charged, the whine of accumulating plasma unmistakable. Step aside or everyone dies messier than necessary. Counter-proposal. Maya smiled, and it was not a nice expression. You leave immediately, and I do not broadcast your employer's names across every news network in the sector, because I recorded this entire conversation, and that console behind me just sent everything to approximately 40 different recipients. Journalists, law enforcement, even a few criminal organizations who would love to know which corporate entities are hiring Keltherin operatives for child murder. It was a complete bluff. The console had sent her distress call, nothing more. But mercenaries were paranoid by profession. Doubt was a weapon if wielded correctly. The lead mercenary hesitated. Just a fraction of a second, but Maya saw it, saw the moment calculation replaced certainty. Then the station lurched violently sideways. Not damage this time, thrust. Something was pushing the station, changing its trajectory. Through the breached doorway, Maya glimpsed ships, dozens of them, broadcasting Concordat rescue codes. Her distress call had been received. The mercenaries exchanged glances, then back toward the breach. Retreat was their only play now. Killing children was profitable when no one watched. Doing it in front of incoming rescue teams was career-ending. This is not finished, human. The lead mercenary's voice carried genuine menace. You made powerful enemies today. Add them to the list. I have a terrible habit of annoying important people. Maya stepped forward, placing herself between the mercenaries and the children. Now get out before I decide recording your conversation was insufficient and I need a more hands-on approach to justice. They left. Not running, but moving with professional speed. Moments later, Maya heard shuttle engines firing, felt the vibration of departing vessels. Then rescue teams poured through every entrance. Station security, Concordat peacekeepers, medical personnel in bright yellow hazmat gear. Someone was shouting commands. Someone else was scanning for survivors. The chaos of emergency response washed over everything. A medic reached Maya first, their multispectral scanner painting her in diagnostic light. Dislocated shoulder, minor concussion, severe bruising. You need immediate treatment. The children first. Maya pointed at the 5 clustered together, still holding hands. Check them completely, and find out what happened to the others in the emergency shelter, already being extracted. All 12 alive, along with the headmaster. The medic was Centauri, their harmonics conveying professional efficiency. You saved them. All of them. Do you understand what you have done? Maya did not. She was running on adrenaline and stubbornness. The medic seemed to sense this, offering a gentle smile. Those children, their families represent 6 different planetary governments, 3 major corporations, and 2 influential religious organizations. You just prevented a political catastrophe that would have destabilized half the sector. I just wanted them to not die. Political implications were not really my primary concern. Maya felt her legs starting to shake. Shock, probably. Her body finally catching up to what her mind had been ignoring. Sit down before you fall down. The medic guided her to a cargo container producing a portable medical kit. This will hurt. They were not lying. Relocating her shoulder involved pain that made Maya see stars and swear extensively in 3 languages. The children watched with wide eyes, learning creative human profanity. Miss Maya said pain is temporary but dying is permanent, Jex offered helpfully, and that humans have questionable survival instincts. Maya's head was swimming. That sounds like something I would say. Over the next several hours, chaos gradually organized itself into order. The station had suffered catastrophic damage, but life support held in critical sections. The Concordat dispatched emergency vessels to evacuate everyone. Investigations began immediately into the system's failure, the jettisoned escape pods, the mercenary attack. Maya sat in the medical bay, shoulder immobilized, head bandaged while security personnel asked questions she answered mechanically. Yes, she recognized the Keltharian symbols. Yes, the mercenaries mentioned corporate interests. No, she could not identify them specifically. The recordings from her suit camera would provide more detail. Headmaster Jix appeared, looking diminished somehow. His confident purple coloring had not returned. Miss Chen, I must apologize. I underestimated your capabilities considerably. Without your quick thinking, we would all be dead. You were following protocol. I broke every rule in the manual. Maya met his eyes. I am probably fired. Quite the opposite. The Galactic Education Concordat wishes to offer you a position as Director of Emergency Response Training. Your salary would increase substantially, and you would have authority to redesign safety protocols across all educational facilities. Jex's mandibles clicked nervously. I am told this is non-negotiable. Several very influential parents insisted. Maya processed this. Director, substantially increased salary, authority, all things she had never particularly wanted. She had taken the cultural liaison position because it was quiet, anonymous, safe. Now she was being offered exactly the opposite. Can I think about it? Of course, though I should mention the news networks have been requesting interviews. Your distress call was broadcast on emergency frequencies. Half the sector heard you protecting those children. You have become what humans call a viral sensation. Wonderful. Fame. The thing she had explicitly never wanted. Maya closed her eyes, imagining her face plastered across news feeds, her privacy evaporating. Every decision scrutinized. The children wish to see you. Jix's voice softened slightly. If you feel able, they brought all 17 at once. The medical bay was not designed for that many visitors, but no one seemed inclined to enforce capacity limits. Jix launched herself at Maya with enough force to nearly knock her off the examination anatomel. The others surrounded her, a multi-species wall of gratitude and affection. You saved us. Jix's 3 eyes blinked rapidly, her species equivalent of crying. You saved everyone. We saved each other. Maya corrected gently. Jax cut through the hatch. Vera led through the tunnel. Lena and Milo kept everyone calm. Roka provided light. I just made decisions quickly. Team effort, but you were not scared. Roka's scales shifted to admiring gold. I was terrified. Maya caught the young Thaxian's gaze. Remember what I told you. Bravery is being scared and doing the right thing anyway. I was absolutely certain we might die, but that made trying to survive even more important. Over the following days, Maya discovered what accidental fame actually meant. Interview requests numbered in the hundreds. News networks wanted exclusive stories. Publishers offered book deals. Someone even suggested a holographic documentary series about heroic humans. Her suit camera footage had been leaked somehow, showing her crawling through tunnels, cutting through hatches, confronting mercenaries. The sector could not get enough. Maya hated every minute, but she granted one interview. Just one. With a small independent journalist who promised to focus on the children rather than sensationalizing her actions. The interview aired 3 days after the rescue, and Maya watched it with mixed feelings. The journalist had done good work, highlighting how the children's families were cooperating with investigations, how the attempted assassination had backfired spectacularly by creating unprecedented political unity. The Keltharine syndicate was being prosecuted across multiple jurisdictions. Corporate executives were resigning. Reforms were being demanded, all because Maya had been too stubborn to let children die. 2 weeks later, she stood in the observation deck of a brand new station, watching 17 children play under proper supervision with functional safety systems. The Luminara Academy had been rebuilt, redesigned, and reopened with Maya Chen as its new director of safety. She had accepted the position finally, but only after negotiating terms. No celebrity appearances, no public speaking tours, just the work. Just protecting children and training others to do the same. Hicks ran up, slightly out of breath from whatever game involved bouncing off walls. Miss Maya, Roka says you are famous across 600 planets. Is that true? Probably. Maya crouched down, her shoulder only mildly protesting now. But fame is just people talking about you. What matters is what you actually do. And what I do is make sure children like you are safe. That is the only fame I care about. When I grow up, I want to be like you. Hicks's antennae stood straight with determination. Brave and smart and stubborn. Aim higher. Be better than me. Be someone who does not need to rescue people because they prevented disasters before they happened. That is real heroism. Jax joined them, all 4 arms carrying art supplies. We made you something. All of us together. The children presented a massive collaborative artwork. Each child had contributed their species' artistic style, creating something bizarre and beautiful. At the center, rendered in 17 different techniques, was Maya, not idealized or heroic, just her standing with children around her, looking tired and determined. The caption read, "In 17 languages, she saved us." Maya felt something crack inside her chest. Not breaking. Opening. All the walls she had built, all the distance she had maintained, all her careful anonymity. She had spent years being invisible, being safe, being unnoticed. One Tuesday had changed everything. She was famous now, recognized across hundreds of worlds. Her privacy was gone, her quiet life shattered. She had powerful enemies, and even more powerful allies. Every decision would be scrutinized, every mistake magnified. And looking at those 17 faces, seeing their joy and trust and admiration, Maya realized something profound. She did not mind, not even a little, because fame was just noise. What mattered, what truly mattered, was this moment. These children, this work. She had saved them. They had saved her right back. Thank you. Maya's voice caught slightly. This is beautiful. I will treasure it always. Will you tell us another story about Earth? Lena asked, their harmonic voice eager. The one about the persistence hunters. Maya settled onto the observation deck floor. 17 children arranging themselves in a circle around her. She thought about all the interviews she had declined, all the fame she had avoided, all the attention she had deflected. Then she thought about this. Right here, this perfect moment of connection and trust. All right, but this time I will tell you about the humans who climbed mountains just to see what was on the other side. About the ones who sailed oceans without knowing what waited beyond the horizon. About my species' terrible, wonderful, absolutely reckless habit of doing dangerous things simply because someone said it could not be done. She told stories until the artificial sun set on the new station. She told stories until the children's parents arrived to collect them, each family thanking her with varying degrees of emotion. She told stories until her voice grew hoarse and her throat hurt. And when the observation deck finally emptied, when Maya stood alone watching stars through perfect transparent aluminum, she allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. She had not wanted fame. She had not asked for heroism. She had simply refused to let children die on a Tuesday. Apparently that was enough to change the sector. Apparently that was enough to change her life. Apparently stubborn humans with questionable survival instincts were exactly what the galaxy needed. Maya Chen, accidental hero, reluctant celebrity, and the most famous human in 600 systems, touched the new safety protocols she had written. They were good policies, thorough, based on hard experience and harder lessons. Tomorrow she would train others. Next week she would inspect facilities. Next month she would testify before the Galactic Council about corporate accountability and child protection laws. But tonight she just stood in the quiet, grateful beyond words that 17 children were sleeping safely in their quarters, dreaming whatever dreams young aliens dreamed. She had saved them. They had saved her. And that, Maya decided, was the only fame worth having. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.